How do we answer the critics? The keys, foundational to understanding why evil is the world. First, we have to understand God's original design. How he actually, his original construction for space, time, matter, life, intelligence, relationships. How did he actually originally build things to work? Because what we're dealing with now, how many would suggest that what we see in the world today is how God designed it to run? This is not how God designed it to run. And so we can't really understand why evil exists until we first understand the contrast between what we have today and what God originally designed. This is also known as diagnosing a problem. If your diagnosis is wrong, then your solutions are wrong. Okay? So God's original design, how would you suggest that? So they don't understand God's original design. Luther doesn't understand the nature and character of sin, neither does Epicurus. They don't understand either one. And therefore, they don't understand the solution. And Luther's solution is a flawed solution based on a flawed diagnosis. Because Luther very much believed in an imperial law construct. Imposed law. That God, who created space, time, matter, energy, life itself. You and I can't create those things, can we? So what we can do, we make up rules. And then we threaten to punish you if you break our rules. That's how we make law. I'm going to put a tax on you, and if you don't pay the tax, I'm going to imprison you. I'm going to make a law that you're not allowed to chew gum in our society. This is Singapore. Anybody been to Singapore? It's against the law to chew gum, and even to have gum in Singapore. It's against the law. If you get caught with gum, it's a fine. You'll be arrested and a $100 fine.
No, it's $500.
$500 fine. She's from Singapore. $500 fine. Get caught chewing gum in Singapore. You see? This is an imposed law. They will punish you for breaking the rule. This is how humans do law. Many people, sadly, think God functions no better than sinful human beings. That he simply makes up rules and he inflicts punishment for breaking rules. That's how people, sadly, have viewed God since Rome Christianized itself. And this whole Roman concept of Christianity is an imperial concept of Christianity. That God's an imperial dictator who runs his universe like Caesar runs Rome. That is the confection in Christianity. And then when you go to answer questions like this, that's why these things come down. Well, he's powerful and he does what he wants to do. Modern Christians call this sovereignty. He's sovereign. He can do what he wants. They don't understand his designs and how his laws actually work. And so you come back to his laws, his actual laws, how he built reality to work. The number one law is the law of love, the principle of giving. God is love, and when he constructed reality, he built reality to operate in harmony with himself. Paul says in Romans 1:20, God's divine nature is seen in what he has made so that men are without excuse. And you know, every breath you take, you give away carbon dioxide to the plants, and the plants give back oxygen to you. A never-ending circle of giving upon which life is built, constructed. What happens if you transgress that law? What happens if you tie a plastic bag over your head and selfishly hoard your carbon dioxide to yourself? You're a lawbreaker. There's no trial. There's no tribunal. There's no infliction from a powerful potentate. They're the wages of doing that. And the Bible says sin is transgression of the law, and the wages of that is? Now you understand. When you deviate from God's designs, his laws, it is destructive, ultimately leading to death. That's what the scripture is teaching. Epicurus didn't understand it. Martin Luther didn't understand it. Many Christians today don't understand it. There's other laws. Law of liberty, design law. In a relationship, if you violate liberty in a relationship, you're dating a girl. You think that she's the one you want to spend your life with. So you ask her to marry you with a knife to her throat, and if you don't, I'm going to kill you. What will happen? Will love grow stronger? Love will be damaged, I promise. A desire to rebel will be instilled. You cannot have love in an environment without freedom. It's not possible. Try it. If you're already in a relationship, you don't have to use the knife. I've decided that you can't spend any money without my permission. You can't use your cell phone. You can't text any of your friends. In fact, you can't use the computer without getting my permission first. See what happens to love in that relationship. I promise it will be instant rebellion. Instant. Love only grows, and it's a law. And design laws are testable. You can test them, and they have the same outcome or consequence every time. When you understand there's laws of worship. By beholding, we become changed. The neurobiology is very strong on this. Bible calls law of worship. Science calls it modeling. But what you spend time thinking about, reading, watching, adoring, admiring, you fire different neural circuits and you actually are transformed. You become a different person over time based on that. Either you become a more Christ-like person by, what's the Bible say? Fix your eyes on Christ and become like him. Or you become a more worldly person. But we're changed by this is a law. You can't avoid it. Law of exertion. Strength requires exercise. You want something to get stronger, you must exercise it. Physical strength, language skills, musical ability, math ability. You want strength in some area, you've got to exercise it. You want strength in love, you want to be a powerful person who loves, you've got to love people.
Discerning right from wrong.
Discerning right from wrong. It says in Hebrews chapter 5:14, the mature, the grown-ups, the Christian mature are those who've developed by practice the ability to discern the right from the wrong. What's practice? Exercise. So you go to your instrument, you're taking piano lessons, then you have to go home and practice. You've got to exercise that skill. You've got to exercise thinking for yourselves. Come, let us reason together. Martin Luther took the position, no, we don't want to think, we don't want to understand, we just want to have faith.
That comparison of those two that you put forth early made me wonder which one's the greater darkness. I was more concerned for Luther, the great reformer.
And Luther, by the way, I think Luther was doing God's work.
Yes.
But he was coming out of such deep darkness that even moving in the right direction, he was still trapped in much darkness. With these in mind, we can ask and understand some of God's original design for humankind.